Okay, in topic D, we're going to define task relationships. This is the sequence that tasks have to be done. This is kind of the guts of a project. This is kind of an important lesson right here. A task predecessor is something that has to happen before another task can get started. So we're going to work with these tasks here. I've highlighted them. You don't highlight them, just leave them like they are. But these are the tasks we're going to be using. These tasks here, all the permits we have to get, these are the tasks we want to work with for an example. Now let's just go below those tasks, right? And you see that clear and grub lot? We're going to highlight that and hit the information button. So when I click on that information, this dialog box comes up and it tells me that these tasks that secure foundation permit and all that others have to be done before I can clear and grub the lot. These are the predecessors for clear and grub lot. Now this is the column where we're going to define our dependency. We got 4 types. The first one is finish to start. This is a default. And it says the predecessors have to end before the new task can even start, right? So you have to finish one before you can start another. So for in this example, we have to finish getting the foundation permit before we can do anything with the electrical. That's the finish to start type of dependency. Now, if I click on this box, a pop-up window will come up, and I can do start to start. And what this is saying is that you can start work as soon as the predecessor starts this work. So in this case, I can start framing as soon as the foundation permit starts. Doesn't have to be finished, it just has to start, and I can start the other project. Okay, this is another one. This is finish to finish. What that tells you is the predecessor must end before you can finish this task, right? So you can't finish until the other one's finished also. Okay, that's what they're saying. The last one is start to finish, and this says the predecessor has to begin before the task can end. So an example of this is like in maintenance. When you start doing the changeover, well, all of a sudden your tool cleaning ends because you're going to focus on the changeover. That's a start to finish example. So let's shift one column over and look at this thing called lag or lag time. Normally, and this is the default view, there is no lag time. So as soon as you're done with one of the predecessors, you can start the next task. 0 lag time. This is the default. But of course, there are other options. So here you can see what I've done is I put in a 4-day lag time. All I do is I just click on that box and change it to 4 days. So that means there's going to be a 4-day lag between that. An example in maintenance might be, let's say you do some welding. You're going to paint afterwards over the weld. You can't paint while the weld's still hot. So you might want like a few hours to let that thing cool down before you paint it. That's why you might build in some lag time. So if I put a negative value, in this case, if you look at number 15 there, I got negative 5 days. That'll tell me I got a 5-day lead time. So when might you use this? So well, think about like plastic injection molding. You got to preheat the mold. So you need some lead time before you start doing the molding. So you want to put that, warm up the mold, give it some lead time so it's warm when you start molding the plastic. That's an example of lead time. Okay, let's work with this a bit. So make sure you open the project. And what we're going to do is we're going to work with that demolition of the old house and define some relationships, the predecessors and things, and dependencies. The task information dialog box will pop up. I'm going to hit the predecessors tab. I'm going to enter 3 in the ID column and just hit enter. That 3 is the third task on our project, so we have to sign contract before we can start demolition of the old house. I'm going to change the lag to 2 weeks and hit OK. Now I slid that the right box on the Gantt view chart over a little bit so I can see the predecessors column on the task. And if you look at this, when we change it to 2 weeks, this is how it appears now in the Gantt view. Okay, I'm going to double click on task 6, place containers task. And when I do that, I get the dialog box. And it shows that demolition of the old house is in the predecessors, right? It's also got the default setting. What I want to do is change that to start in the type column. And in the task view, right, the Gantt chart task view, you can see that I got that 5SS. That means 5, task 5, start to start. I can start as soon as task 5 starts. So let's add a finish to finish dependency to the task. So I'm double clicking on task 7, sort debris task, and my dialog box pops up. Now you see what I've done is I've added the task 5, demolition of the old house, and just hit OK. And this is what the dialog box will say now. So I just basically changed it to finish, added 1 day in the lag, hit OK. And this is what it will look like. And there's our change on the task list in the Gantt view. Now on the haul waste line, double click on that, get the dialog box, and this pops up. We don't like that. We want, instead of having recycling, we want to sort debris in there. So how do we change it? So what we do is just delete that task that's in there, replace it with a 7, and we get sort debris. That's all there is to it. And there it is on the Gantt chart view. There's our 7. Save your file. We'll get on to the next lesson.